हेलो एवरीवन, कैसे हैं आप सब। आप सबका स्वागत है हमारे इस सेशन में। माई सेल्फ उदित सिंगला वेलकम यू ऑल टू अभिपीडिया, इंडियाज नंबर 1 प्लेटफॉर्म इन द ईपीएफओ प्रिपरेशन। आप सबके लिए सेशन लाया हूं रिगार्डिंग यूपीएससी ईपीएफओ ईओ एओ एंड एपीएफसी सिलेबस। तो आज के इस सेशन में हम बात करेंगे यूपीएससी ईओ एओ एंड एपीएफसी के सिलेबस के बारे में। आई विल ऑल्सो पॉइंट आउट द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द सिलेबस ऑफ ईओ एओ एंड एपीएफसी। तो चलिए सेशन शुरू करते हैं। First of all, we will talk about the syllabus for EO. The syllabus for EO, which was mentioned in the notification last time, was General English, Indian freedom struggle, current events and developmental issues, Indian polity and economy, General accounting principles, industrial relation and labor law, General science and knowledge of computer applications, General mental ability and quantitative aptitude, social security in India. So this is the syllabus which was mentioned in the notification. Now we will point out the subtopics which you should do in these broad topics. So let's see, first of all, for general English. For general English, these are the subtopics you should do: parts of speech, structure of sentence, subject verb agreement, nouns and pronouns, verb tenses and models, preposition, conjunction, articles, adjective, adverb, determiners, reading comprehension, synonyms and antonyms, idioms and phrases, one word substitution, sentence rearrangement or para jumble, active passive narration. So these are the topics you should do for journal English. I will also point out the important topics here. The important topics are uh, these these topics are important here in the general English part. Rest topics you should also do. So this is regarding the syllabus for the general English. Now I will discuss the syllabus for the Indian freedom struggle. Indian freedom struggle basically means modern history here. So you have to do the topics like decline of Mughal Empire and the rise of regional powers, advent of Europeans like Portuguese, Danes, French, Britishers. So this you have to do. Rise of British in India, like how the Britishers rise in India, like Battle of Plassey, very important here. Battle of Buxar. So this you should do in this subtopic. Early reforms during British rule, like military reforms, civil reforms, police reforms you should do, civil services reform you should do. You should do about land reforms also. So this is the topics you should do in this subtopic. Revolt of 1857, rise of nationalism and formation of INC during 1885. So Swadeshi movement and rise of extremism, important events from 1908 to 1947, like when the Mahatma Gandhi came into picture, non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, quit India movement. So these are the subtopics you should do here. Miscellaneous topics of modern history, like how princely states rose and the important role of princely states in the Indian freedom struggle. So this you should do here. So these are the subtopics you should do in the Indian freedom struggle part. Now I will point out the syllabus for the Indian current events and developmental issues. In the current events and developmental issues, you should do these subtopics: national and international current affairs, which are important in news. You should do from the national point of view also, and the international point of view also. So the development in education, science, technology, defense, space. So this you should do here. Latest government schemes you should do. So these are the subtopics you should do in this broader topic. Now I will talk about the syllabus for the Indian polity. This is very important. In the Indian polity, you should do constitution and framework of India. How the constitution came into being. You should do this. Indian Union and its citizens. Rights and duties of Indian citizens. Here you should do fundamental rights, fundamental duties, etc. So this you should do here. Central state relation in the field of legislation, executive, you should do. So these are the topics you should do here. executives in India, union, about union you should do. In this you should do about president, council of ministers, and you should do state executive also. In this you should do about governor. So legislatures in India, you should do parliament here. State legislature you should do like legislative assembly, legislative council. So constitutional, non-constitutional bodies in India like Niti Aayog, you should do about NCBC, National Constitution for Backward Classes, which is the latest one constitutional body. Local governments in India, you should do about Panchayati Raj institutions here. Miscellaneous topics you should do like fifth schedule, sixth schedule here. So these are the topics you should do in the Indian polity. Now I will point out the subtopics which you should do in the Indian economy. So in the Indian economy, you should do introduction to demand and supply, elasticity of demand, measurement of growth, poverty alleviation and employment generation in India, economic history of India, monetary policy. Here LPG reforms will also come. So inflation, fiscal policy, regional economic cooperation like FTA, which we sign with different other countries, you should do here. International economic institution like World Bank, IMF, you should do here. Balance of payment you should do. Finance Commission, the recent one, 15th Finance Commission you should do. Financial inclusion, budget and economic survey, latest budget and economic survey you should do. So these are the topics you should do in the Indian economy part. Now I will discuss the syllabus for the general accounting principles. In the general accounting principle, these are the subtopics you should do. Introduction to accounting, accounting principles and convention. This is very important topic. Accounting terminology, recording of transaction like how to credit, how to debit, bills of exchange, accounting standards, preparation of the final accounts, ratio analysis. So in these topics you can expect some easy numerical also. So in the general accounting principle you can expect numericals also. So but that will be easy only. But the most important topic here is general accounting principles and conventions. So this is the important topic here. Now I will point out the syllabus for the industrial relations. In the industrial relations, these are the subtopics you should do. Or Indian labor force, trade union, collective bargaining. What is the meaning of collective bargaining? How it is done? Industrial discipline and grievance procedure, industrial conflicts and disputes, settlement of industrial disputes, labor welfare, wages. In the wages, you should do minimum wage. Who should set minimum wage? And about the code on minimum wages, you should do. Code on wages, you should do. Workers' participation management, international industrial relations, industrial health and safety, miscellaneous topics also you should do. So these are the topics of industrial relation. Now I will talk about the topics you should do in the industrial labor laws and codes. This is the industrial relation and labor laws. This you have a syllabus of industrial relations and labor laws. So I had already talked about the industrial relation. Now let's talk about the labor laws. So in the labor laws part, you should do all the old labor laws and also the recent one, the recent 4 codes on labor you should do. These are the 4 recent codes you should do. Apart from, you also have to do all the other acts related to the labor. So Payment of Wages Act 1936, Minimum Wages Act 1948, Trade Union Act 1926, Factories Act 1948, Industrial Employment Standing Orders Act 1946, Industrial Disputes Act 1947, Child and Adolescent Labor Provision and Regulation Act 1986, which is we say Child Labor Act. So Interstate Migration Workman Act 1979, Payment of Bonus Act 1965, Building and Other Construction Worker Act 1996. So these acts you should do, and these are the codes on in the recent codes you should do. codes on wages, industrial relations code, social security code, occupational safety, health and working conditions code. So this is the syllabus for the industrial relations and labor laws. These are the subtopics you should do in this broad topic syllabus. Now I will point out the subtopics which you have to do for the general science and computer applications. For the general science, first of all, physics. You should know about the SI units: motion, sound, light, wave, energy, electricity. So these are the only ninth class and 10th class topics you should know. Not very good. You don't need to go deep into these topics. You just have to have a broader understanding about these topics. Like ninth up to 10th level, I will say this will suffice for this examination. Chemistry, you should do chemical properties of substance and their uses, chemical name of important substances, properties of gases, physical change and chemical change. What is the physical change or what is the chemical change and their examples. Surface chemistry, you should do chemistry in everyday life. What is the role of chemistry in everyday life? What are the uses? Where you see the uses of chemistry. So this is a very important topic in the chemistry. Biology, you should know about the facts about the human body parts, nutrition in animals and plants, diseases and their causes, science, life science, etc. So in these uh, diseases and their causes are very important. In the computer part, you, you should know about the operating system, database management system, data structure, computer network, input and output devices. Here input and output devices is very important. You should know which is the input device, which is the output device and their example. Computer organization, internet, MS Office is also very important here. So these are the topics you should do in the general science and knowledge of computer applications part. Now I will talk about the syllabus for the general mental ability and quantitative aptitude. First of all, for general mental ability, you should know these subtopics: seating arrangement, theories, blood relation, direction, syllogism, seating arrangement. This I think is repetition. Puzzle test, statement and conclusion, statement and inferences, data sufficiency. So here you should know some logical reasoning, puzzles, syllogism, etc. So this is the topics in the general mental ability. All these topics I think most of you already know. Now we'll talk about the syllabus for the quantitative aptitude. For quantitative aptitude, number system, algebra, HCF and LCM, average, mixture and alligation, ratio and proportion, quadratic equation, partnership, percentage, simple interest and compound interest, profit and loss, time and work, speed and distance and time, problem on edges, calendar and clock, permutation and combination, probability. So these are the topics you wrote. These are the subtopics which you should know in the quantitative aptitude. So this you prepare for CSAT also if you are a UPSC aspirant. So this I will say you should do, and you should try to score 100% marks in this topic, and it is very much achievable also. So this is the advice from my side, that you should score 100% marks in this subtopic. So this is the regarding the syllabus for quantitative aptitude. Now we will talk about the syllabus for social security in India. For in the social security, you should know about social security schemes like National Pension System, Atal Pension Yojana. You should also know new social security scheme which are launched, like Unified Pension Scheme, which was recently launched. Social security laws in India, like Employees Compensation Act, Employees State Insurance Act, Employees Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Act, Maternity Benefit Act, Payment of Gratuity Act, Unorganized Social Security Act in 2008. So these are the acts you should know, and you should know about. Basically, this is very important. Latest security scheme, social security scheme, you should know. So this is regarding the syllabus for social security. Now this is regarding the syllabus for EOU. Now I will talk about the syllabus for APFC. The syllabus for EOU and APFC is quite similar. Apart from the topics I am underlining here: Indian culture and heritage, population development and globalization, auditing, insurance, statistics. Apart from these 5 topics, all other topics are part of EOAO also. So if you say this is the syllabus of EOAO, then you can say this is the syllabus of APFC. So all the topics of EOAO are part of APFC also, but APFC has 4 or 5 extra topics apart from the topics of EOAO. Now we will talk in detail about the syllabus of APFC. All other topics you have already seen. Now, these are the extra topics you should do in the syllabus of APFC, like Indian culture and heritage. In this, you should do these subtopics: religion and philosophy, culture and architecture in India, Indian music, dance, Indian festivals, paintings, Indian literature, UNESCO World Heritage Sites in India. So these are the subtopics you should do in the Indian culture and heritage. In the population development and globalization, you should know about the census 2011 data, human development index, effect of globalization, etc. So these are the subtopics you should do in this topic. In auditing, you should do these subtopics: nature, objective and scope of auditing, audit strategy, planning and program, audit of different type of entities, classification of audit. So this you should do in the auditing part. In the insurance part, you should know about the principles of insurance. What are the important principles of insurance? What are the types of insurance? Insurance schemes you should know, like Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana. These are the schemes you should know in the insurance part. Now in the statistics part, you should know about the mean, median, mode, dispersion, standard deviation, variance. So these sampling, different methods of sampling. So these are the subtopics you should know in the statistics part. So this is regarding the syllabus for APFC. So if you have any doubt, you can comment in the comment section. We will happy to address that. So this is regarding the today's session. So if you have any doubt, I will again say comment in the comment section. We will happy to address that. Thank you for watching the session. Thank you.